Thank you. And Anna, before we do anything, I think it's always good to get in a good state so that.
I was pulling my, I had it already, but it expired. So I was pulling the maps up, the comparison.
All right. So yeah, we can look at that in a moment. And just before we do that, do you have a good way for yourself to put yourself in flow or into the zone or coach state?
Yeah. Yes, it's actually what we learned from you, and it really works. So every time I think about your words again, so I focus on the air coming into my nostrils and going down, and I start to try to feel the place inside me where I feel most balanced and where I feel most connected to my feelings and also to everything else that's around me. So I try to feel the 3 dimensions around me, and I try to feel the ground under my feet and the air coming into my lungs. And I try to feel this connection, the openness, and the awareness of everything around me. And then I try to hold that.
So I would invite you to feel the connection to that center, as you were saying, and also the awareness to the connection between us. And I just want to say that, thank you for letting me be the coach for you, and you can count on my best support today. So I'm here.
Thank you. I'm here.
And, this is actually really interesting because there's some progression or progress here because we've already started a little bit of work. And so I'm curious, what is the context, because you jumped into the opportunity. So what is the context of your wanting to get some coaching today?
I'm realizing more and more, thanks to all of this, all of the coaching that we're doing, I'm realizing more and more what it is that is connecting the different aspects of the same aspects of my different jobs. And this is a positive feeling. And I would maybe like to investigate a little bit more in depth how this works. I have realized that what has brought me to want to coach, so come into this world that has not been mine, is not only my the will that I've always had since I was a child. I've always been more than eager, in need to help others. So this is part of it for sure. So and also I've been a coachee for a long time with someone here in Florence. But also, so there's this aspect. So I like the idea of coaching and of helping, but also I have realized that my job that I've done until now has to do with perception. So both teaching and writing, I feel, and I've understood this connection now both
Mhm.
teaching and writing have to do with perceiving in one way if you're writing and in another when you're teaching, and then giving back. So,
Right. That's
so,
true.
and I've come to realize that also when you are coaching, also thank you to all the advice and the help that I've got every time we've done practice with someone. Everybody has been wonderful in helping me with hints and tips. But I have realized that when you are coaching, you are actually perceiving what your coachee is has that they can tell you. Of course, my difficulty is to learn how to ask the right questions. That's my biggest difficulty. But I have understood that it's a great exercise of perception and then of giving back in a way that you are extracting some the potential from that person, helping them pull it out and then use it. So
Yeah.
so
Okay. I think those are really interesting realizations. And by the way, understanding patterns is one of the most important skills of a coach. So when you talk about, oh, there is a pattern here, there's a thread between these roles that I do in life, teaching and writing and coaching, that's a wonderful direction, because we want to understand the unique pattern that defines you. So there is a pattern that only you do. There's a pattern in which you come together in a very unique way. And when you tap into that, that's a real nice inroad into the zone of genius. And what before we kind of move forward and start figuring out, where you want to go with this, I'd love to take a look at the inventory together and just to see, what sort of information that gives us. And if you could share.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Then what I will do.
Vicky, have you given her permission to share?
Yeah, I have given permission
Yeah,
to.
I have it. Then it's because it's not going onto my other screen. Let me see if this works then. So I hope I'm not turning everything off here. Wait, let me just move this thing like that. Okay.
Sure.
Can you see my screen now?
No, we still see you. You have to push.
I know what I'm doing. No, I'm a real dummy. I didn't press the button. I put it on.
That's fine.
Let's share. Okay, so there. Oh,
Share screen.
Now it should work.
Yes, it's coming on.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, that's me. I'm very.
That's okay. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. So if we kind of go down and then
Maybe go to see the results on a.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So see the results and then.
if you click on that, then the comparison is a good way for us to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, I did this some time ago and I purposely wanted to wait till the end of
Mm-hmm.
the coaching classes because I'm really getting a lot out of them, and I wanted to see at the end of the cycle what it would look like.
Okay. And so can you share a little bit about how you selected your goal
Yes.
and what that means to you?
Okay, so I selected my goal to make a meaningful contribution because that is the thing, that is what excites me most when I'm doing something, to give a contribution to be able to convey something that's important, and be it through teaching or through writing, and also through coaching. The Vila and I have been working together, and she has some wonderful projects regarding putting coaching and literature, using them together. So I have realized that yes, I'd love to make more money and things like that, but really, what matters is the contribution. Everything I do really isn't about how much they pay me, but.
And by the way, so that realization that you described, the pattern or the thread between the roles is exactly about that, right? Like it's this idea of giving back, as you said.
Yes.
And so if you just take a look at this for a moment together here. So the goal is to have more meaningful contribution. And then on the meta level, you see that mission and vision are very important in the ideal mindset. And then in your current mindset, those seem to be pretty clear and strong. And then if you go on, because we always want to check with the meta level, right? Because those are kind of foundational pieces.
Right.
If you go to the macro, there you have three little icons where it seems like, those are very important. And, so one of them is frequent and honest feedback. The other is recharging and balancing, right?
Right. And the other is focus and energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way you filled out the inventory, those came out as potential areas of improvement. So if you kind of take into account all this coaching and all the work that you've been doing so far during this course, do you still agree with these results? Is that kind of?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I know that the recharging and balancing is something that I know how to do well, but I don't always succeed in finding the time to doing it. Then sometimes I will do too much of it. So I'm really not. I don't have a good balance there at all. As far as I think that with this, with learning so much in these past weeks, the focus and energy, the directing my focus and energy certainly have changed. I have a more clear sense of focusing and using my focus and energy. The scanning, the staying alert for feedback, I think I've improved, and I think those have changed a little. Yes.
So where do you think? Why don't we go down just for a moment to the tools that were recommended, just for us to know, what were some of the. So there are three tools there, right? One is somewhat similarly to the previous round, is the mapping the hero's journey. Then we've got reframing critics and criticism, and then resource anchors and managing your energy. So based on your best understanding of yourself, and maybe I would invite you to go back to the coach state just for a moment. And, finding back to this connection to yourself, and then also sensing the connection between us. And then maybe taking the perspective of a journey, that there's a journey ahead of you. And it sounds like you have a really good feeling about, a drive, a purpose, perhaps, to say that you've brought with you for a long time, which is to help and to give back. And so what I would invite you to do is try and express, either what it would be like to live that purpose, to live that, common thread that you've just discovered to its full extent, so that you are really bringing everything into the world that you can. And I'm curious if there is an image that comes up with this, that would kind of describe that state for you. So Anna being at her absolute best and living her calling, what comes up for that?
It's me with a series of with parallel things going on.
Yeah.
Certainly my dream book that I've already spoken about, my
Right.
book is there.
So there's a journey.
And then everything, connected to the book I'm writing now, that has been incredibly exciting because I've been giving talks about it, and that would be continuing. So all of this would be then connected not only to my teaching, but also certainly to my coaching. I would love to be able to make my, writers always have to have two jobs. They write and then they have another job that they live by, and thanks to which they live. And I really would like that to be coaching, because it would be, as I said the other time, a passion, and that would give me, all the energy would come together at that point.
So instead of maybe then continuing to describe this, I would invite you to again, just close your eyes and go to your creative mind, where everything is possible, and see all of these things, see the coaching happening, see the book being written, your favorite book, the book you always wanted to write, and then perhaps this other book, and you're giving talks about it, and you're out there, you're serving, you're giving back, and all of this is happening parallel. And I'm just wondering, what's a somatic expression? How would you express that with your body? What's the gesture that comes that would kind of describe, what's it like to be that Anna who is able to do all of these things? So what's that like? I already see a smile, which is great.
I think
Welcome.
it's a very childish gesture.
Yeah, show me. Yeah.
It's this.
Right.
It's this. Yeah.
Right. And so you do that, and then what I'm curious about is, just after you do that and you have that smile on your face, how does it relax into, sustainable? Like there's a moment of like, yeah, and then what? Like, how does it sustain? How does it go forward? How does it grow from here? From this, yeah. What's next?
The gesture, okay.
The gesture, yeah.
Just stays there. It's
It
like
stays there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So what I want to ask you is, as you're feeling that, the hilarious moment and the energy of being able to do all of this together, what are some ways for you to stay energized and focused so that you can maintain that and just let your mind come up with something that, like, oh, maybe I could do that. Like, what are some ideas to stay energized and focused?
It might help a little if we stop sharing to see a
Yeah.
little bit more now.
Yeah, let's stop sharing. We want to continue to give back and share, but not our screen.
Not the screen. Stop share.
Yeah,
Okay.
welcome back.
Did that work? Okay.
Yeah. So what are some ways to, we've got this,
Yeah.
we've got the three things happening together. So what's key here to stay energized? What could be some action, some practice that you could
keep doing what I'm keep in
doing.
this direction. Keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
So keep doing those, walks early morning with the dogs and in the wilderness.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. Yeah.
And writing, and then really working, concentrating hard on this path of coaching, and continue my exchange with about projects with Vivina. That's very energizing. We have some wonderful ideas.
Great. So she's one way to get feedback, and I'm curious, what else comes up in terms of potential sources of feedback? Because as you're going to be involved in all these things, that's going to be very important.
Well, as I was saying this morning when I was coaching with some colleagues here. Well, I'm not their colleague; they're better than me. But I think that feedback for coaching, I would think is, if someone stops coming to the coaching session, that's a pretty clear feedback. So if they keep coming to sessions and they clearly are benefiting from it, and they are moving ahead, I think that's good feedback.
It's good feedback, and what I would kind of call your attention to, just as you said this, I was talking to my colleagues this morning. You have a community here potentially as well. So staying in touch and getting feedback, the kind of the supervision type feedback that only another coach can give you is really useful as well.
I have to say that the feedback I've gotten from everyone whom I've worked with has been fantastic. And I'm very grateful for that to everybody. Yeah. And everybody knows, I've told them already. But also I think that another so yes, absolutely, asking colleagues to help with feedback, but also when you see that people start spreading the word about you, then that is great feedback. So that's for coaching. For writing, for teaching, I get a lot of feedback.
You get a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm teaching in American universities, so that works. And as far as writing, you're if you get published, that's good feedback. And if you're I think that's then from there to, of course, I would love for my fiction book to become a bestseller, but I don't know if that will happen, but that would be good feedback.
So as you're going to be on this road, do you expect to get critical feedback, certain negativity that, maybe people initially don't understand something, or they want you to follow a different path because they think you should be writing a different book? Do you anticipate any of that?
Oh, yes. Even the book that I'm writing now, I wanted to write in a different form. Instead, I had to go with what the editor wanted. Which, I think in Italian you say you have to look at how full or empty your glass is. And I consider my glass to be really quite full. If I can't get everything I want from my editor, I sure am getting a lot anyway. And I like to look at the...
And that's great. That's good insight. And I want to ask you, how would you be able to, just as we are preparing for this journey for you, what's a frame of mind where, how should you think about all of this feedback that might be coming to you? Even if it's critical, what is this a sign of? What's a positive frame for that?
For feedback, well, feedback always allows you to self-reflect and to grow.
Yeah.
So even if it's critical, meaning negative, it forces you to ask yourself some questions and to do self introspection and ask yourself. No, I think it's always, of course, you're sorry that you're not getting all positive feedback, but you can't always get positive feedback because everybody is different.
And feedback is interest. So if I'm giving you feedback, it means that you caught my attention, and I consider, worthy of my time to give you feedback. And even if it's developmental, that's great. It is really, you have engaged them in a conversation.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering here is, again, you decided to volunteer for this coaching, and we are bringing together the pattern. It's clear that it's putting you on a certain journey. It seems that you have ways of recharging and keeping focused.
Mm-hmm.
You have ways, and you're conscious of gathering feedback. What would be useful to you right now in terms of some kind of an action or like what's missing for you that prompted you to, I want to get some coaching here?
Putting the pieces together. I feel like I'm still putting the pieces together, and I feel like I'm still not so my path isn't so clear yet. I know where I want to go. I know where I want to get, but there are all those, I'm sure, bumps and
Right.
Because this is such a new world for me. Some sense of
Alignment, right? It's kind of like, so can I suggest something, since we only have about 2-3 minutes here?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we both stand up for this part of the, our work? And I just want to take you through a little process that hopefully does, some job in putting you and aligning you in the right place so that you can start the journey feeling confident. And so the way, we could do that is, again, closing your eyes and coming back to that code state. And I'm going to invite you to do certain things, and you can share if you want, but you can also do that just inside you. So breathing in and breathing out, and then connecting to your purpose. That purpose that you mentioned that has been there for a long time, and now you know what it is. And I would invite you to feel that purpose in your body right now. Where is this purpose? Where do you feel it? And maybe even putting your hand on that part of you where you can feel your purpose right now.
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Like at the beginning of my stomach.
Right, wonderful. And just sensing the connection to the purpose. And then also, as you're standing here, connecting to your being, the unique you. You know, I need to be this in order to live my purpose. That's who I am. That's who I want to be. That's who I choose to be. And then connecting, you know, this sense of the purpose, the sense of who you are. And if you just had to say one word, who are you, Anna? What's that one word that describes the unique you that only you can be? Maybe there's an expression that expresses what that is, who you are. If the word doesn't come, just let the hand speak or let the body speak. So who are you? What's the gesture?
I think I am my morning walks.
Yeah.
There's one place that I reach every morning that is on the top of the mountain.
Okay, so I just want you to go there and be there. You know, forget about this exercise, forget about the work. You're up there on that mountain, and you are who you need to be, and you're connected to your purpose. And just check, you know, all the things you believe in this life that are important to you, about, you know, yourself, about others, about your clients, about the people that you touch with your work. And, you know, cherish them, that they're there, and that you can connect with them and you can give them your gift. And also notice, you know, all the skills and capabilities and competencies that you have built up in yourself over all these years, and you're building them up even now as we stand here, even further, and how they can serve you to be who you want to be and this purpose. And just maybe sense that as you return from this work, there will be some new ways in which you can behave, building in everything that you now know about yourself. And it's still going to be you and all the things that you do so well. But there's going to be a little more here now, because you understand how it's all connected and how it serves one purpose. And how do you show up with all these tools and behaviors in all these places?
I think we might have just lost.
We might have just lost her. She was picked up and she's like, yeah. Yeah, let's wait and see what happens.
We'll wait and see if Anna comes back, but maybe
We're at the end anyway. Yes.
of a synchronistic, there's a lot of synchronicities going on.
Yeah.
Literally transformed.